that's for sure. They're all equally as fun to watch, but there's one that I found particularly intriguing. This is a wood duck. Now, as far as ducks are concerned, males are generally more colorful and maybe even more beautiful, although they're all beautiful in my eyes. So I'll just stick with colorful. This is a female, and her colors are a little more drab, but hey, she's still beautiful. I had to say that in case she was listening.
Wood ducks are one of North America's most colorful waterfowl, making them an incredible sight to see, observe, and to photograph.
We hit the old dusty trail to see what we could find. We could hear rustling in the trees, and then we spotted a feeding area rich with wildlife. Fox squirrels have a wide distribution in Texas. About 90% of the squirrels in Texas are fox squirrels, but other species of squirrels reside here too.
When a squirrel becomes scared, it will usually hide rather than run away. Squirrels are very intelligent animals, and it's difficult to outwit them. Personally, I think they're adorable and very fun to watch. And I think he kind of likes me, too.
You're right, Terry. He just waved. We moved on, taking time to admire the native plant life and trees. This one in particular caught our eye. This is a retama, and this tree is native to Mexico and Texas. Now, this tree was introduced in various parts of the world where it's being studied for medical uses. Like we talked about earlier, this tree has thorn adaptation, and that helps it survive the hot, dry Texas climate. Somehow, the birds don't seem to mind, though.
These mesquite trees also have thorns, and from what I hear, you don't want to mess with them as the results can be very uncomfortable.
They may not have thorns, but they can still be sharp and menacing. This is, of course, a yucca plant. Now, yucca have adapted to a wide variety of climates like mountains and coastal sand, as well as the grasslands and prairies of Texas. Most species of yucca have thick, waxy skins to prevent loss of water through evaporation. They frequently store water in their thick roots. The channeled leaves of a yucca plant actually direct dew and rainfall water directly to their roots. Now, yucca have said to be fire adapted. What that means is they grow and spread vigorously after wildfires. In these blooms often are found yucca moths, an insect specifically designed to help the yucca plant. Now, I look, but no such luck here. Either way, they're beautiful, and Terry and I both agree they're probably our favorite plant species.
Continuing down the path, we came across a bridge that gave us a peek at the canopy top. From up here, we can get a bird's eye view of the Rio Grande Valley. To be honest, I felt like I should have been looking for monkeys. Okay, maybe not monkeys. How about Bigfoot? Even though we didn't spot anything, it was a really cool view. We could see all the way into Mexico, literally.
Looking back on the ground, we took a moment to admire the prairie habitats. We were hoping to spot a nilgai, but no such luck. We did spot this woodpecker, though. South Texas is a hot spot for birders, and it's the perfect place to come if you want to put a dent in your lifers list. I know I sure put a dent in mine during my visit. So every place we go, we always come up with like a list, a wish list of animals we really want to see. And in South Texas, on my list was the nilgai. And do you know what a nilgai is?
Well, yeah,
you do,
I know what it is.
because you told me about them. But a nilgai is an antelope, huge, huge antelope that comes from India. And the reason they're in South Texas is, depending on what website you go to, they were either escaped from a zoo or from a rancher back in the early 1900s. Because of the temperature down there and the climate, they were able to establish a population. And now there's a huge population of these giant Indian antelope running around.
And they're thriving there.
Now, we did see one for like 2 seconds. It took off. We didn't get a shot of it.
We don't expect you to believe us. It's kind of like a fish story.
So we've got to use the stock footage, which I got to admit, the first time in Nature Adventures history, seriously, it's the first time we've ever used stock footage. But we wanted to share that with you, these cool antelope. And if you ever go to South Texas, you know, maybe you'll be luckier than us and you can actually get a shot of one.
I'm wondering if I could replace you with stock footage.
Maybe.
Coming up, Terry goes for a ride.
News 11 at 11 means you get 11 minutes of news and weather
before the first commercial.
Watch Channel 11 News 11 at 11 tonight.
Now, if it were up to Todd, we would just drive back roads all day long. But I'm a little bit more adventurous. So you probably figured this out already, but it was my brainy idea to rent some bikes and explore that way. Honestly, the bikes seemed a bit awkward, so it took a little getting used to. I have to commend Todd, though, for being open-minded and letting me win this one. It was a gorgeous day. I wanted to be free. Once I got comfortable, I even tried to get creative. Hey, that kind of worked.
I'm like a bike speed trap. Catching speeders as they go flying by.
Ha, you'll never catch me.
Wasn't there a movie a long time ago? It was about this woman that she would ride a bike and then she would do something with a little dog too. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Truth is, Terry and I are actually racing here, but the reason I'm not winning by a big margin is because I'm also filming at the same time.
So I won for a little while. I'm just joking with you. I won just by being here to experience all of this. From the cooperative roadrunner to those odd chachalakas that seem like oversized songbirds. To the crested caracara, the first item that I was able to check off my lifer list. To the beauty of the various habitats that we explored during our visit. To the thorns all around us that reminded us that Mother Nature is brilliant and she deserves our respect. To the yucca that demands little from its surroundings yet has so much to give. Texas was good to us, and coming here was good for us. It was good for our souls, our spirits, and our minds.
Well, that's our show this week. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Now, Terry, what was your favorite experience in South Texas?
Oh, seeing the look on your face when you got released from jail.
No, I never even got a ticket.
Okay, I'm kidding.
I promise you. But despite getting pulled over 5 times, we had a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, you go out in nature, you're going to have a lot more fun.
We'll see you next time.
Here's to brighter days. Taking back what has happened so fast. A shadow face will remember the past. It's time to settle down. I will take your blame today. It's nice to see we're moving on again. Sometimes it's hard to get along when we've been so. I've been so wrong, I've been so wrong, my friend. I've been so wrong.
If you want to be prepared for all the things you need to do, wake up with Channel 11 Morning News. You'll get dependable, live coverage of breaking news from a team you can trust to get the facts and the story right. We'll connect you to the important news happening where you live. And with weather updated every 10 minutes, you'll know exactly how storms will impact your commute. Be ready for whatever your day might bring. Channel 11 Morning News is coming.
starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon, everyone. Breaking now at noon, a road in Peters Township is partially closed because of a ruptured gas line there. Chopper 11 is live over the scene on McDowell Lane. Our Channel 11 News desk is making calls right now, and we will let you know as soon as that road reopens. Well, turning gears now to weather. It's sunny outside now, but Severe Weather Team 11 is tracking storms for the afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Damani Lewis. Some places could see storms in the next couple of hours. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier is tracking the forecast in Severe Weather Center 11. And Danielle, it is humid out there as well.
It is. It's humid. It's very warm, and this humidity and heat will be fueling those showers and storms this afternoon. Take a look right now outside where we've got 84 degrees in Pittsburgh right now, 85 in Butler, and it is steamy. Look at these dew point numbers. They're in the 70s right now, 70 in Pittsburgh, 73 in Washington, 72 in Greensburg. This is the tropical air mass. It's the air you can wear. The heat index values are at 90 already in Greensburg, Butler, Beaver, and it feels like 92 in Washington. So you're going to need the sunscreen, and you're definitely going to keep hydrated this afternoon. If you're heading to the pool, it's not going to take long before you burn because of just how hot and humid it is. Look at 84 degrees at 7 o'clock. Still very warm, but we'll definitely be tracking showers and storms late afternoon and evening. I'm putting together our storm tracker maps, which will walk you hour by hour through the storm timing in your neighborhood. Coming up in my Severe Weather Team 11 forecast. Amani.
All right, thanks a lot. Well, developing right now, 6 tiny patients and 6 staff members at UPMC Children's Hospital with confirmed cases of MRSA. Channel 11's Aaron Clark just reached out to the hospital, and she joins us live with the latest on this outbreak. Aaron.
That's right, Damani. Here's the latest. As you said, UPMC reported 12 cases of MRSA at the Children's Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, also known as the NICU. 6 patients and 6 staff members have the virus, or have the bacteria, I should say, and they are showing symptoms. Now, I reached out to someone here at UPMC Hospital, and we were told that the hospital is not giving any interviews today, and that person pointed me to the statement that UPMC sent out yesterday, which in part says says that several tests are being conducted, and when more information becomes available, the hospital will release that. That statement also said that it is important to note that a portion of the population carry MRSA without even ever being symptomatic, and that the hospital is doing everything it can to care for its patients, staff, and visitors. UPMC always follows CDC guidelines and isolation protocols, and infection control procedures are in place. Now, we are contacting medical professionals locally and nationally, and we want to bring you information on how you can protect yourself and your family. We'll have that on Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock, so make sure to tune in then. For now, reporting live from Children's Hospital, Erin Clark, Channel 11 News.
Erin, thank you. We're breaking right now. A Butler County woman accused of killing someone in Florida has been found incompetent to stand trial. The woman right there on your screen, Kimberly Kessler, is charged in the disappearance and murder of Jolene Cummings. Kessler was already found incompetent to stand trial in May, but state attorneys in Florida challenged the ruling. They asked to have another doctor examine her, but once again, she's been found unfit for trial. Well, new at noon, a Norfolk salesman is behind bars after state police say they found drugs in his Indiana County hotel room. Troopers say David Walker Jr. tried hiding the drugs in the toilet when they came to his door yesterday at the Days Inn on Route 22 in Burrell Township. Well, there they found suspected crack, cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl, marijuana, cash, and a digital scale. Well, developers are going after approval for a new office tech building in Pittsburgh's Strip District. They want to put the new building and parking spaces on Smallman Street. Channel 11's Mike Holden talked to people about the new plan today, and he joins us live in the Strip District. Mike.
Damani, good afternoon to you. So industry and innovation could soon be coming right here to the Strip District. We talked to a lot of folks. Overall, they said they are thrilled at this new opportunity, but they admit this could be a double-edged sword. If all goes as planned, a 7-story office complex focusing on technology and innovation would set up shop right here in the Strip District. Developer Norfus is looking to build a more than 250,000 square foot office space here. According to the zoning board proposal, the building would stretch across a whole block of Smallman right between 31st and 32nd Streets. We already spotted this notice on the side of at least 2 buildings on the block. Norfus sent Channel 11 these renderings of the proposed project. As you can see, it would butt right up to the 31st Street Bridge. Developers still need to get the green light from city officials on a number of levels, from parking to height of the building and much more. They will go before the zoning board on July 11th to lay out the full plan.
But it's nice to see that they are bringing things here, and hopefully it will help with jobs because people are struggling here with jobs.
It'd be great to have a really nice structure. Plus, coming off the 31st Street Bridge, that'd be the first thing people see if it's the first time into the city.
The weeks ahead, but that's not the end of this story. Coming up on Channel 11 News at 5, we're taking a closer look at the concerns as far as parking, population, if this area really can stand all of those people in one spot. Look for that side of the story coming up at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting live from the Strip District, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Well, we are following more breaking news at this noon hour. The former mayor of Scranton has pleaded guilty to a pay-to-play scheme. Listen to this. Bill Courtwright resigned from office yesterday. Today, he walked into the federal courthouse in Williamsport and signed a plea deal. According to federal prosecutors, Courtwright let business projects move forward in exchange for cash. He then used the money to remodel his karate club, landscape his home, and use a beach property. Courtwright now faces 35 years in prison and $750,000 in fines. A mother demanding answers after her daughter was stabbed to death in East Pittsburgh. Police say Octavia Stone was stabbed multiple times by a man who knew her. Investigators are still trying to identify him, but her family feels they've been left in the dark. In fact, they say they haven't heard from police at all.
They're wording everything as though they have some kind of suspect in mind. Doesn't the family have the right to know that?
State police are handling the investigation. Octavia's family is asking anyone with information to call police. Well, the border crisis appears to be escalating. Not only are migrants still living in what some say are terrible conditions at border stations, but now authorities have launched an investigation into a private Border Patrol Facebook group. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is in Clint, Texas with the latest.
Anti-immigrant protesters outside the troubled Border Patrol station in Clint, Texas, and members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, all Democrats, touring several migrant detention centers, tweeting out this picture and video, even though they were told not to bring in phones. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling conditions unconscionable.
This was them on their best behavior, and they put them in a room with no running water, and these women were being told by CBP officers to drink out of the toilet.
Border officials later pushing back, calling the accusations completely untrue, adding there are ample supplies. The latest flashpoint in the immigration debate, a bombshell report by ProPublica detailing a private Border Patrol Facebook group making crude jokes about throwing burritos at members of Congress and the meme depicting sex acts involving migrants.
That was a vulgar, disgusting, and vile page.
In a written statement, Customs and Border Protection calls the post completely inappropriate, adding any employees found to have violated our standards of conduct will be held accountable.
I know that the Border Patrol is not happy with the Democrats in Congress. I will say the Republicans do want border security.
CBP has been under fire for allegations of overcrowding and unsanitary conditions, which it has disputed.
Unsubstantiated allegations last week regarding a single Border Patrol facility in Clint Station in Texas created a sensation.
We visited this shelter in Juarez, Mexico, and met this man from El Salvador who says he's already spent 2 months here waiting for asylum, a crisis with no end in sight. More protests are now planned for later today at congressional offices across the country, calling for the closure of migrant detention centers. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Clint, Texas.
Well, breaking right now, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf is helping a killer get out of prison. The governor just accepted the Board of Pardons' recommendation to commute Robert Weidman's sentence. A judge sentenced him to life in prison 43 years ago after a robbery turned into a murder. Weidman will spend a year at a Pittsburgh halfway house. Well, you are looking live right here at the White House as we are just 2 days away from a big 4th of July celebration in Washington. And that celebration is growing in size and in controversy. The president says the celebration will include military tanks. Channel 11's Jacqueline Fell is in Washington, where critics are questioning the rising cost.
The president has long wanted a military parade ever since he went to France's Bastille Day in 2017. But plans here in the U.S. were shelved when it was realized it would cost nearly $100 million and possibly destroy D.C. streets. Now the proud White House is gearing up for the 4th, calling it a celebration of America's military. There will be military flyovers, a speech by the president, and fireworks. Military tanks are also going to be on display, though it's reported they will be static, not moving.
We're going to have a great 4th of July in Washington, D.C. It'll be like no other. It'll be special, and I hope a lot of people come.
Protesters will be on hand. I've confirmed with the National Park Service they've granted an activist group permission to fly a baby Trump float during the event. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
And right here at home, Pittsburgh police are teaming up with other law enforcement agencies to keep everyone safe at the city's 4th of July celebration on Thursday. Large crowds are expected on the North Shore, downtown, Mount Washington, and Point State Park for the fireworks. And of course, police are reminding visitors fireworks are not allowed in Point State Park. They say there will be a zero tolerance for fighting, public drunkenness, or underage drinking. State, county, and city mounted units will be present along with river rescue. And if you don't want to head downtown and fight the crowds, you can stay home and watch Pittsburgh's annual fireworks show from the comfort of your own living room. The WPXI 4th of July features the Flashes of Freedom fireworks. Channel 11 News anchors Lisa Sylvester and Catherine Amenta will be with you live at 9 p.m. only on Channel 11. A massive power surge damaged dozens of local homes. 11 investigates why the power company says fixing the damage is not on them. Cyber thieves targeting 4th of July travelers, the new tools that can protect your valuable information.
And I'm timing out when storms move through your neighborhood and some of those threats we are tracking. Coming up in my forecast next.
You're streaming WPXI now. Your source for breaking news, weather, and original local shows. Amazing people are having a big impact all over rural America. Small town, big deal. Weekdays at 2 p.m. on WPXI. Channel 11 News now brings you the 7-day forecast on your screen all the time. During all of our weather reports, you'll see the forecast for the next 7 days where you live. Watch Severe Weather Team 11's 7-day forecast on Channel 11 News every day.
Watch Channel 11 News at 6.
Followed by NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
Channel 11 following breaking news right now. Take a look here. Chopper 11 live over the PNC Bank on 5th Avenue downtown. You see police right there. Well, you can see police officers are in that area and they're working to learn what's going on. We'll break back in just as soon as we get more details in this. Well, this is the busiest travel week of the entire summer. And while you keep a close eye on your credit cards and cash, security experts say your biggest security risk could actually be your cell phone as it unlocks onto Wi-Fi cell phone signals set up by criminals. Well, last year alone, 566 million travelers worldwide had their personal records compromised. So while you lock your rental car and your hotel and your luggage, NBC's Tom Costello explains why you should also keep a close eye on your cell phone.
The peak travel week and the peak travel season, and airports, train stations, hotels, subways are all packed, almost all offering Wi-Fi. But should you trust it?
If there's one available for free, I'll get that one.
Cyber crooks are hoping you can't live without Wi-Fi because it can be the back door to your hackable data. Personal information, credit cards, airline and hotel loyalty programs. IBM X-Force Red cybersecurity pro Charles Henderson says it could be a tempting trap.
It is very difficult to know that public Wi-Fi is legit, and a criminal can set up fake public Wi-Fi with a device just like this very easily.
It may say airport, hotel, or coffee shop Wi-Fi, but one click could give hackers easy access to everything on your phone, including unprotected apps. To prove how easily we can all be targeted, Sophos cybersecurity chief James Line offered free Wi-Fi access in New York, using names like Get Online and Free Public Wi-Fi. A whopping 2,341 people connected to the hotspots. Then 109 handed over their credit card information when James offered $2 access.
Of course, in this case, we're not actually taking the money. But 109 users happily handed their credit card details over to a complete stranger, a company they've no idea about.
Even if you stay off Wi-Fi, you could still be at risk. Hackers have targeted public USB charging stations with viruses that steal your phone and computer data.
It's not just Wi-Fi. Criminals can even use this to intercept all your Bluetooth communication.
My watch, my phone, everything.
Everything.
The latest hacker tool, a stingray that literally hijacks your cell signal.
This is a device that can mimic a cell phone tower.
This?
Yes, this.
The expert advice, stay off networks you don't know. Avoid public charging stations, carry batteries instead. And rip up used airline tickets and luggage tags. Your personal data has never been more at risk.
Oh, well, that is eye-opening. Well, residents voiced concerns last night about a drilling project in Beaver County. The well site would be on Amsler Ridge Road in Economy Borough. Last week, council approved a heavy vehicle permit for the road, and Penn Energy has agreed to make improvements to the road to accommodate its vehicles, but homeowners are still concerned.
Trucks will be coming in front of my house down Big Sewickley Creek and then turning up 20 feet away from my house onto Amsler Ridge. They're going to be coming down a hill off Amsler Ridge, directly facing into my house.
Well, very valid concerns there. Penn Energy would have to reach agreements with the property owners on any stretch of Amsler Ridge Road where widening would be necessary. Well, officials are working to find out what caused the fire at a Beaver County business. It happened at United Rental in Aliquippa. They sell industrial tools and equipment there. Fire officials tell us 3 tractor trailers caught fire last night. We were there but couldn't see any damage, and we're told the fire was contained quickly and it didn't spread to the building.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
If you've been outside today, you know it is very warm, hot, and humid. Here's a live look outside. You can just kind of see how humid it is with the haze in the air. The heat index is already 88 degrees. What happens is when we have so much moisture in the atmosphere, your skin has a hard time evaporating that moisture and effectively cooling down, and that's why we are all really sweating. Our dew point is at 70. It is now in the oppressive feeling category. That's that tropical air mass, and it will stay in place throughout the rest of the day today and in the coming days. We warned you yesterday. Here's a look at Storm Tracker. By 2 o'clock this afternoon, we should see some showers and a few thunderstorms popping up with the heating of the day. And as the afternoon wears on, those storms will become a little more scattered in nature. This is a look at 3:30 this afternoon. The areas in yellow and in orange represent where that rain could be coming down really heavy. And that is because of just how much moisture we have available in the atmosphere. So blinding downpours for the drive home for some of you, while others may stay dry. It's that summertime pattern. Overnight tonight, a disturbance will be coming in, and that's going to be keeping showers and a few thunderstorms in the forecast overnight tonight. So this is a look at 2 a.m. You'll see that right around the Pittsburgh area, and we'll keep the shower and storm threat all the way in to the early part of your commute on Wednesday. And also, we will be dealing with some fog as well. Here's a look at 5 a.m. Those scattered showers. Here's a look at 7. We do believe that as the morning wears on, the rain chances will clear out, and then they'll return once again as we head into the afternoon with the heating of the day. So here's 2 o'clock, and once again, tracking showers and a few thunderstorms. That's a look at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and those heavier downpours through Allegheny County. Not only today, but over the next couple of days, we are looking at the threats of 58-mile-per-hour winds or greater, localized flooding in the strongest thunderstorms, as well as hail. So we always encourage you to download our Severe Weather Team 11 app, and it'll bring you those alerts right to your cell phone. Very good information there on that app, so you'll want to check it out. You can also get the radar, too. 70 overnight tonight, so it's going to be a warm, humid night, and fog will be developing. I want to show you Fog Tracker. I'll do that here in the next half hour. Here's a look at the running forecast tomorrow. 73, but we could be dodging some wet weather. 1 o'clock into 5 o'clock, that threat for showers and storms. So again, just kind of keep a watchful eye to the sky as high temperatures climb into the middle 80s. It'll also be pretty warm. When you factor in the high humidity, those heat index values tomorrow will be climbing into the upper 80s by 4 o'clock. And I think in some spots we'll even have a heat index at near 90. An early hour-by-hour Independence Day forecast for you. 83 at noon, 87 at 4 o'clock. So we are in for, yes, a hot and humid one for your holiday as well. The summer heat continues into the end of the week, and your weekend always in view with highs in the middle 80s. In this next half hour, we'll also take a look at your fireworks evening forecast. Damani?
Danielle, thank you, and be sure to check out the WPXI streaming app. We'll have constant updates on the forecast and today's top stories, and you can find it now on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Just search WPXI. Well, we want to get back to that breaking news in downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look here. The FBI has just confirmed the PNC Bank on 5th Avenue was robbed. You can still see there is a police presence out there outside the bank right now, and we have a crew on the way to the scene right there. And of course, stay with Channel 11 and WPXI.com for updates on this breaking story. Well, residents say it was like a scene from a movie. The wild foot chase that landed 3 people behind bars. A Pittsburgh native recently died from a rare bacteria after vacationing in Florida. The one thing experts say you can do to stay safe.
7-day forecast now on your screen all the time on Channel 11 News.
A Pittsburgh-based company has been awarded more than $5 million to develop a moon rover. Astrobotic Technology, Inc. and CMU are partnering together to develop NASA's Moon Ranger. The rover will be sent to the moon as early as 2021. Well, we told you about a grandmother with ties to Western Pennsylvania who died from a rare bacteria while on vacation. Carolyn Fleming was vacationing in Sarasota, Florida when she scraped her leg and got a deadly flesh-eating bacteria. It's a situation we are hearing about more often, and it's just not in tropical places. A recent study found 5 victims due to water from the Delaware Bay over the last 2 years. Now, that's compared to just 1 case the previous 8 years. Experts say beware of rivers, streams, and bays where the water is mostly stagnant, which is ideal for bacteria to grow. Now, we should note of the Delaware Bay cases, one was deadly, and the victims are already had pre-existing conditions and were either eating crabs from the bay or handling raw seafood. Well, the U.S. women's soccer team is preparing for a semifinals match against England, while tensions are running high ahead of the game.
And I am tracking that threat for thunderstorms, but we're also looking out for fog into your Wednesday morning. A lot more to come in this next half hour.
Join the Leukemia Lymphoma Society for Light the Night. This special event brings together family, friends, and co-workers to celebrate, honor, and remember those touched by cancer. Participants help fund life-saving cancer research and treatments, giving survivors hope.
Survivors like Nora and me. That's right.
Visit WPXI.com/lightthenight for more information.
Help defeat the darkness of cancer and walk with us at Heinz Field on October 17th.
When we walk, cancer.
Andy Williams Show every weekday at 11, right here on Channel 11.
A power surge causes thousands of dollars in damages at 70 Washington County homes. Now, back in April, a tree fell on power lines, causing the surge that damaged microwaves, refrigerators, and other appliances. Now, the power company is telling neighbors it's not their responsibility to fix. 11 Investigates' Aaron Martin explains the company's reasoning.
Everyone laughed and actually loved how it accommodated a lot of things because it was a huge box.
Ann Marler is remembering her microwave, a wedding gift from more than 3 decades ago, destroyed during a power surge in April. Her husband, Scott, described the condition it was in minutes later.
And I opened it up, and it was probably lucky that it didn't burn the house down because it was still like cooking without even being turned on.
For the Marlers, the power surge destroyed their microwave and refrigerator, costing around $3,500 to replace. A spokesman with West Penn Power says 70 people in the Burgettstown area filed claims that the surge damaged household items. All of them were denied.
West Penn Power says it was actually a tree that fell on lines here on Route 18 in Smith Township that caused that power surge in the first place. But 11 Investigates has learned, depending on where that tree is located, has a lot to do with who's responsible. And in this case, residents are stuck with the bill.
The tree caused the 12,000-volt line to cross with a 25,000-volt line, creating the surge. But since the tree wasn't in the right-of-way, which is maintained by the power company, West Penn Power says they're not responsible for the damage. The Marlers are hoping to file an appeal, but so far haven't even been able to do that.
You're my only hope that this will matter.
Because they haven't sent us even paperwork to do an appeal.
Or a call.
Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
Let's switch gears now to weather. Warm and muggy out there. It's pretty soupy out there right now, though. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Danielle Dozier is tracking when storms are going to pop up and when fog may actually become an issue. Danielle.
Yeah, we're going to be tracking storms today. Fog developing in spots as we head through tomorrow morning. Here's a look at Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. Want to let you know that if you are heading out the door in the next couple of minutes, hopefully you stay tuned to us first and then head out the door. But you're going to notice some dry conditions right now. That'll be changing, though, as the day wears on. And in fact, already it looks like starting to see, as I check right behind the banner here, just north of I-80, there's a little shower that's beginning to pop up there. But the rest of us are dry. If you're doing a little biking this afternoon, you may be able to get it in because it's not going to be a washout, at least initially, or widespread initially. But as the afternoon wears on, those storm chances really start to pick up. And we're looking at the heat as well, so you might become exhausted. I know Damani said exercising in the heat and the humidity, it can really wear you out, so just keep that in mind. Here's a look at Fog Tracker at 4:30 a.m. Areas in white are more dense. The gray is less dense, but could be dealing with some fog for your morning commute tomorrow, but lifting as we head into the 8 and 9 o'clock hours. Still to come, we are looking at your Flashes of Freedom fireworks forecast. You want to stick around. I think you might like it, Damani.
All right, thanks a lot, Danielle. Well, we continue to follow breaking news in Peters Township, where a road is closed after a gas line rupture. Take a look here. Within the last few minutes, we've learned a contractor hit the underground line on McDowell Lane this morning. Now, officials with Columbia Gas tell us service was not disrupted. They expect to have repairs finished in the next 30 minutes. Well, police are looking into reports that a second car was involved in a motorcycle crash in Ross Township. When we got to Green Hill Road, we saw the bike being loaded onto a wrecker right there. Now, this happened just after 8 last night. One person was taken to the hospital, and we'll update you as soon as we get an update from police to figure out if anyone else was involved in this. Well, for the second day in a row, if you live in Fayette County, you might have no water, unfortunately. About 200 customers in Nicholson, Georges, and German townships are being told to boil their water if they even have it at all. Now, the Mountain Watershed Association told us that there's a leak in their system, and at last check, they still have not found it.
Mountain Water has a lot of line, about 78 miles of line to detect, so since then they've called in a couple different specialists.
Well, several water buffaloes are set up to help residents. Well, it was like a scene straight out of a movie. Listen to this. Police chasing several men as they ran along rooftops. People watched this all unfold right in front of their eyes in Glassport. Well, police say 2 men and a child broke into a home on Monongahela Avenue by pushing in the AC units. The alarm went off, catching them on security cameras, and it didn't take long for police to show up, and a wild chase started. One of the suspects actually was spotted jumping from roof to roof, down to a trailer, and then up to a roof again.
Freaked me out just because it is close to home and the fact that I have kids, and it's very concerning, especially being such a little town.
Unreal, right? Well, right now, all 3 suspects are in jail. Well, the man accused of trying to lure a 10-year-old girl into his van went before a judge on Monday. Now, the victim told police that she was playing when Jan Andra approached her, but his attorney says this was all just a big misunderstanding. He says his client was only house hunting in the Clarksville neighborhood the day of the alleged incident.
He told the officer he was looking at tax properties, and he had a list. He showed the officer the list.
Well, the judge did not drop the charges, so Andra is headed to trial. Well, a special event canceled after threats. Drag Queen Story Time was planned at the Children's Museum and the main branch of the Carnegie Library over the weekend, but both programs canceled their events after a threat was made online. The event is held at libraries across the U.S. And we are less than 3 hours away from the World Cup semi between U.S. women's national team and England. Get ready, folks. But tensions are already running high between the two teams. Though the U.S. team is being accused of being too arrogant on the field. NBC's Kelly Kobayea is in France with the story.
After a tense 2-1 win against host nation France in their last outing, the U.S. women's team is bracing for battle against another European powerhouse. Team USA accused of being arrogant after sending staffers to check out the 5-star hotel where the team would stay if they make it to the finals. The only problem? Their semi-final opponent, England, is currently staying there. England's coach calling it un-British and bad etiquette.
Not something that we do, send somebody around to another team's hotel. It'll have no bearings on the game. I actually found it quite funny.
U.S. coach Jill Ellis, who grew up in England, on defense.
In terms of arrogance, I think that's got nothing to do with us. That's planning and preparation for our staff. So I think that's pretty normal.
Yeah, I don't think our team is arrogant at all. I think that our team is confident. We're respectful of our opponents, and I think the way that we respect them is by preparing as if the opponent that we're going to play is the best in the world.
Fans are already flooding into Lyon, France, ready to cheer for their team. These young fans from New York and New Jersey will be in the stands. Are you nervous for the game against England?
Yeah, a little bit. Because they are a really good team.
Hoping Team USA can outscore England for a trip to another World Cup final. It'll be another hot one. Temperatures forecast to be in the mid-80s at kickoff. Kelly Kobayea, NBC News, Lyon, France.
Well, a woman attacked by dogs while waiting for the bus, the next step in the police investigation. Plus, what you can do to get the most out of your cell phone battery.
the news at 5 when you want news from where you live.
Channel 11 following breaking news right now. Take a good look here. Chopper 11 live over Maytide Street near Windfall Way in Pittsburgh's Carrick neighborhood. There's a heavy police presence there, and officers have someone in handcuffs, and I guess just put that person in the squad car there. Now, we're working to find out what's going on here, and we'll let you know as soon as we get more information on this. Well, new details about a dog attack in Turtle Creek that sent a woman to the hospital. Channel 11 has learned police plan to file charges against the owner of the two dogs. Well, the woman was attacked last week as she waited for a bus on James Street. A bystander saw the dogs attack the woman, and he came to her rescue.
I look out the window and I see this man, like an older man, kind of chasing the dog up the street with like a blue sledgehammer, and the girls in the car kind of crying.
Well, that woman right there says one of the dogs started to come after her as well. Police believe the dogs are pit bulls. Well, if your child needs a new bike helmet this summer, the Consumer Product Safety Commission has a warning for you. Listen up here. Why you will want to double check to make sure the helmet you buy has this label on it.
Also to come, I'm going to let you know why flash flooding is a big concern in the days ahead, plus an hour-by-hour early look at your fireworks forecast.
You're streaming WPXI now, your source for original local shows. Spice up your taste buds to your green thumb with tips for your kitchen to yard. Watch Garden Style, Saturday and Sunday at 3:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. on WPXI. And Lisa Sylvester on Channel 11 News 11 at 11. Only Channel 11 Morning News brings you weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh tracks storms down to your neighborhood, and Tricia Pittman helps you get around backups. Check out the difference on Channel 11 Morning News.
Well, there's a new warning from Consumer Reports. Listen up, folks. When you buy a new bicycle helmet, it should have a label inside that looks like this, showing that it meets safety standards set by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. But in a recent investigation, Consumer Reports found potentially unsafe helmets are widely available online. The advocacy group is not saying these helmets are definitively unsafe, but because they didn't come with a required label, they may not have been tested. Now, that means the helmets are non-compliant and should not be for sale in the U.S. Well, chances are you recharge your phone every single day, or some folks every hour, right? But are you doing more harm than good to the phone's battery? Consumer advisor Clark Howard explains how you can extend the life of your device.
We as Americans are keeping our cell phones much longer than we used to. The average person used to keep a phone maybe 18 months. Now it's not at all unusual for someone to keep their current cell phone for 3 or 4 years. And that puts them into a mode where they just can't believe what's happened to the battery on their cell phone. That the battery life goes down and down and down over time, and then your cell phone can't make it through a day anymore as it gets older. This isn't a conspiracy by Apple or by Android manufacturers or anything like that. It's the way batteries work. Let me tell you something. Electric vehicle manufacturers, when you charge an electric vehicle, they tell you never charge past 80% unless you're going on a road trip. That way you preserve the life of the batteries. Well, it turns out cell phones, the same thing. If you'll charge your cell phone only to 80% each day, you'll get a lot more life out of that battery and that cell phone. I'm Clark Howard.
Thanks a lot, Clark, and you can see more from Clark Howard on our WPXI streaming app. Just search for WPXI on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Well, PennDOT, state police, and Westmoreland County officials are teaming up to remind everyone about the dangers of driving under the influence. On Monday, they joined members of the National DUI Association and planted red flags around the courthouse in Greensburg, each one representing a person who died from DUI accidents in Westmoreland County in the last 5 years. State police will have troopers out in full force over the holiday looking for impaired drivers.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
It is warm, it is humid out there today. The reason is because we have a front that is well up to the north, and we are allowing this southerly wind and westerly wind to come in, and that's been pumping in all of this moisture to the area. So we've seen a big increase in the moisture content, and the humidity, of course, is very high in response. Here's a look at our 24-hour dew point change. Again, dew points are the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. They're measured in degrees, and this is how much they have gone up in the last 24 hours. So from this time yesterday, we've had a 14-degree rise in Pittsburgh, a 16-degree rise in Washington. So we definitely have a tropical air mass in place. If you were planning on heading to the Big Butler Fair today, it's going to be hot and it's going to be humid as temperatures climb to near 88 degrees by 4 o'clock. We'll definitely be tracking a chance for some showers and thunderstorms, so you'll want to keep that eye to the sky. Here's Storm Tracker at 2:30 this afternoon. A few showers and storms bubbling up with the heating of the day. Here's 4 o'clock. The areas in yellow and red will indicate where it could be coming down heavy. In some spots, some of you will have some strong downpours, while others will be dry. It's that summertime pattern. A disturbance will be rolling through late tonight into tomorrow, so that was a look at 2 a.m. And then by 5:30, a couple of us are still dealing with some scattered showers before the activity winds down through 7 and 8 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. So we'll be dodging some damp roadways. Keep in mind that fog will be setting up in spots which could limit your visibility as well. Here's 2:30 in the afternoon Wednesday, still detecting some strong downpours. Here's a look at 4:30 in the afternoon. So once again, we're going to hit rinse and repeat by Wednesday afternoon. Of course, we always remind you when thunder roars, you want to head indoors. Flash flooding is going to become a concern in the next couple of days. Here's our flash flood guidance: 1.6 inches for Allegheny, Fayette counties as you see the rest. This means this is how much rain it will take in 1 hour to produce flash flooding, and any storm today could dump a quick ½ an inch of rain. They're going to be slow moving as well, so you could see even more than that if it sits over your city. Here's a look at what you can do really to help us out, which is send us your weather pictures safely, of course, using the hashtag WPXIStorm. Tomorrow, we're looking at the heat once again with temperatures in the middle 80s, but you'll need the sunscreen. When you factor in the humidity, it's going to feel like the upper 80s, but even close to about 90 degrees. Our flashes of freedom early outlook is that temperatures will be warm in the lower 80s. We'll be tracking a few showers and thunderstorms, and as Damani and I were just discussing, it may be a little bit of an SD quality versus an HD quality for the fireworks when you factor in the humidity that's going to be around, and of course all the smoke from the fireworks. And of course that's something that you'll see when you head out there Thursday evening. Here's a look at the 5-day forecast. Upper 80s all the way into Friday, mid 80s with your weekend always in view and unsettled at times. Damani.
All right, thanks a lot, Danielle. Well, more on that breaking news in downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look here. One person is in custody after a robbery at the PNC Bank on 5th Avenue. Now, police say he gave the teller a note demanding money and just took off. Officers caught him at 5th and Liberty. Officers are still looking for a second person in this. And, of course, stay with Channel 11 and WPXI.com for updates on this breaking story. A Missouri man fed up with the pothole on his street. The unusual celebration he hopes draws attention to the problem.
And traffic updated every 10 minutes on Channel 11 Morning News.
Well, listen to this. There was an unusual celebration on a street in Kansas City, Missouri. A man threw a party for the pothole that's been plaguing his street for months. Frank Serrano said he called about the pothole several times, but nothing was done, so he decided to try something new. He bought a cake and celebrated the pothole's 3-month birthday.
I'm going to make an excuse to have a celebration for Pothole. Went and got some cake, got a nice birthday candle, and came out and lit it for Pothole, and he seemed thrilled with the whole idea.
Well, a spokesperson for the Public Works Department says rain has interfered with road repairs, but crews are making a push during the recent stretch of sunshine. Serrano hopes they visit his street before he makes another trip to the Baker. Well, the Pittsburgh Police Department has 3 new furry officers: Cappy the Bloodhound, Dodger, the city's first accelerant detection canine, and Zane, the new comfort dog, were all sworn in yesterday. Well, congratulations to them. Well, that's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock. And, of course, you can get breaking news updates anytime right on our streaming apps. Just search WPXI on Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire. Have a great day, everyone.